whatever the.
They are side like up until a year or?
So normally you say Kaddish for 11 months actually.
Oh, yeah.
But basically, when it comes to something like this, I'm a general,
My aunt was like so Buddhist about it. She didn't like she was
Yeah.
pronounced. She just said Thea. That's what she
That was kind of what, yeah.
passed on.
No. So I think, in my estimation, it's more about the act than it is about the precise
I
timing.
mean, she might actually be annoyed that I'm doing this. She didn't really want to acknowledge that. she
Truth be
passed.
told, things about Kaddish, if she were to be annoyed about it, saying Kaddish, while it sort of mystically has to do with the person's past, spiritually has much more to do with the person saying it.
Right.
Right? So as long as it's not someone told you not to do it and you're doing it,
No.
then that's not anything to worry about. Right? You're doing it for yourself. That's
said, really? I said, all the things I do of me. She says, well, it's your obligation. And I go, you're right, you're right. But,
Philosophical
right.
Finally, the red chairs. So those red chairs are actually very old, but they're not. I don't think they're as old as everyone thinks they are. I don't know. I don't know exactly. But someone told me a story though. I don't know whether it's true or not. But right, if you look at the chair, what do you notice about the chair?
Squishy and hard.
It is actually both those things. It's weird. When you sit in it, it's.
Why do they look like
That's exactly right. Right. So someone told me that a long time ago that there was actually a lion's head there, and then they took it off for some reason. I don't know why.
I feel weird.
Does it feel weird? It's a little. It's a little bouncy.
I don't like
A little bouncy. No, it's okay. You don't have to worry about it. But there are that I don't know. I really don't know. I don't have an answer for that. Yeah. So years ago they fixed them, but then when they fixed them, it made it really like hard to sit in. Like it feels weirdly, right, stiff. Yeah. So what happens is, every once in a while, like someone else maybe is speaking, and then I'll go and sit down there when they're speaking. You know, so that's the only main reason. I know, but there are times where I'm not the person in charge. There are other people that can be in charge sometimes. Right? And when you guys come up, you're going to be in charge. And I'm gonna sit in the chair, and you guys can run the service. How's that sound? Good? All right, good. I like that. I like. All right. Now,
Does anybody know what this is? Because I just found it on the chair up here.
no, but maybe. Yeah, that's probably what that is.
Okay, so
We have a lot.
place it. Where would you like me to place this?
You know what? For right now, put on Chelsea. How about that first read? I think that's good. Yeah, she's okay with that. I think that's good. Okay. Okay. All right. So we're gonna get started.
I'm standing here and I can jump. I can do it 3
You did it.
I'm already
If I try to do that right now.
I can't. I can do it because I
Oh, that's nice. And class you on Thursday. I really want to get Emma to go to that. Not the one that's in front of me? Oh, you go to. Oh, it's school you do. Oh, indeed. Got it. Yes. You have great. Did you know? Wait, did you have Coach Katz? Did you wait? Have you have Coach Katz? You know that Coach Katz has been a member of this house since born. That his parents were right. Gertrude Katz and her husband were here for so many years. So next time that you see Coach Katz, you gotta make sure that he knows that you're a member of the temple. You should be okay. You doing okay? All right. Well, guys, we're gonna get started in a second. Yes. Yes. That's okay. You know what? That happens to me a lot. You know, good question. Those chairs are actually from before I was the rabbi. So I don't know when they were deciding on those chairs why they picked such scratchy stuff. I know, that's tough. All right. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. It's great to see all of you. And especially great that tonight I have two excellent, world-renowned rabbis with me. I have Estelle and Sadie. Estelle and Sadie, can you say Shabbat Shalom to everybody? Okay, so I'm taking the week off, and Estelle and Sadie are going to lead the service. They're going to talk about all this stuff, going to sing all this stuff, right? They're very excited about it, future rabbis of America. But in all truth, we're going to have a few times where the girls are going to come up and help, and we'll see, traffic is a bit crazy, so some of our other students may be a little bit late coming. So we'll try to roll with things as they come. Before we get started with our service, though, I want everyone to just take a moment and wish the people around you a Shabbat Shalom. If you don't recognize faces, don't be embarrassed. Introduce yourselves. Okay, make sure everybody knows each other. Exactly. We could say a very, very happy
And special Shabbat to everyone tonight. And for the honor of lighting and blessing our candles tonight, we're going to welcome up Estelle and Sadie. And Sadie's grandma is here, is going to help us tonight also. So can you guys come on up? And maybe I'll help with the lighting piece of it, okay? But then you guys can help with the blessing piece. Now, this is a very important thing, girls. When we light the candles, there's a tradition to actually go like this, to actually like imagine as if you're bringing the light into your soul, into your body, into like, yeah, exactly right. Okay, so I'm gonna light, and then you guys can help to do the blessing. Okay. Yeah, now watch. This one lately has been pretty big at the beginning, so because it's there we go.
Whoa.
Yeah, this is actually.
That's big. I want to be with that.
Of course,
I want to be with that fire.
Like a campfire, right?
No way. It's like a Barbie fire.
This one is done. Don't worry, it will calm down in a second. Okay, girls. Now let's kind of bring in all that beautiful Shabbat light. Okay, and Grandma's going to help us with the blessing. Okay.
In English?
Yeah, that's great. Let's read that too first.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
Okay. And then do you need help with the Hebrew?
Yeah.
Okay.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam,
Asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu ad l'ner shel Shabbat. Amen. Okay. Now, girls, I need your help for one last thing. Okay. And when we start Hebrew school on Mondays, right, we always sing one thing when we first come in, okay, which is Matovu. Okay, so you guys gonna help me a little bit? Okay. Matovu ohalecha Yaakov mishkenotecha Yisrael. One more time. Matovu ohalecha Yaakov mishkenotecha Yisrael. And we've taught our students that when somebody does something really great up here, we say Yasher Koch to you guys. So can everybody say Yasher Koch? Okay, and we're not done with you for the full service, but for right now, you guys can go and sit back down, okay? And wherever you are most comfortable.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Shalom. Okay, and then in a little bit when we get to the Shema, you guys are going to help me when we do the special Shema, okay? Excellent. So for now, we're going to turn together to page 130 as we turn to the very top of the page to begin Kabbalat Shabbat. Again, page 130 at the very top. Lechu ner hanena, lechu ner hanena, lechu ner hanena l'Adonai. Lechu ner hanena, lechu ner hanena, lechu ner hanena l'Adonai. Naria, letzori shenu nekad mahafana vetoda. Naria, letzori shenu mizmihirot naria lo. Lechu ner hanena, lechu ner hanena, lechu ner hanena l'Adonai. Lechu ner hanena, lechu ner hanena, lechu ner hanena l'Adonai. We're now on page 131, Shiru Ladonai. Shiru Ladonai, Shiru Shir Chadash, Shiru Ladonai, Kol Haaretz, Shiru Ladonai, Baruchu Shemo, Basru Meyom Leyom Yeshuato, Shiru Ladonai, Baruchu Shemo, Basru Meyom Leyom Yeshuato, Shiru Ladonai, Shiru Shir Chadash, Shiru Ladonai, Kol Haaretz, Shiru Ladonai, Baruchu Shemo, Basru Meyom Leyom Yeshuato, Shiru Ladonai, Baruchu Shemo, Basru meyom leyom Yeshuato. We'll turn now to page 132 at the very bottom of the page, Or Zarua. Or Zarua la tzadik, ulehishrei lev simcha. Or Zarua la tzadik, ulehishrei lev simcha. Simchu tzadikim b'Adonai, Vehodu lezecher kodsho. Simchu tzadikim Adonai, Vehodu lezecher kodsho. We'll turn now to page 134 at the very top. Zamru l'Adonai bechinor, bechinor vekol zimra, B'chatzotzrot v'kol shofar, Hariu lifnei hamelech Adonai, Yiram hayamum lo'o, Tevel ve'yoshveva, Neharot yimcha uchaf yachad, Harim yiranenu, Lifnei Adonai kiva, lishbot haaretz, yishbot tevel betzedek, ve'hamim memesharim. Yiram hayamum lo'o, tevel ve'yoshveva, Neharot imcha uchaf yachad, harim yiranenu. We're now on page 135. We're the last paragraph in Hebrew, just in the middle of the page. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu vehishtachavu lehar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu vehishtachavu lehar kodsho ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu vehishtachavu lehar kodsho. We'll turn now to page 136, the 29th Psalm at the very top of the page. Mizmor leDavid, Havu l'Adonai b'nei Elim, Havu l'Adonai kavod va'oz, Havu l'Adonai kevod shemo, Ishtachavu l'Adonai behadrat kodesh, Kol Adonai ahamayim, El kavod hirim, Adonai al mayim rabim, Adonai al mayim rabim, Kol Adonai ba'koach, Kol Adonai behadar, Kol Adonai shover harazim, Vaishaber Adonai et arzei halvanon, Vayarkidehem kemo hegel Levanon v'Sirion, kemo v'hen reimim, kemo v'hen reimim. Kol Adonai chotzeb lahabotesh, Kol Adonai yachil midbar, Yachil Adonai midbar kadesh, Kol Adonai yecholel hayalot, ויחשוף יערות ובחלו כולו מרכבות כולו מרכבות כולו מרכבות אדוני למבול ישב, וישב אדוני מלך לעולם. אדוני עוז לעמו ייתן, אדוני יברך את עמו ושלום. We'll turn now to Lecha Dodi on page 138. A reminder, we'll do the first, second, fifth, and ninth paragraphs. For the last one, we'll rise and face the doors that we came in through just a few moments ago. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. 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 Shamor bezachor bedibur echad, Ishmi'anu el hamiuchad, Adonai echad u'shemho echad, L'shem ultiferet velitila. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, Ki mekor haberacha, Merosh mikedem nesucha, Sof maaseh b'machshavat tchila. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. Hitoreri, Kiva orech kumeori, uri, shir daberi, Kevod Adonai alaich nigla. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. Boi v'shalom ateret bala, Gam mesimcha uve'tzola, Toch emunei am segula, Boi chala. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. Please be seated. We're now on page 140, and we're just where the Hebrew indents in the middle of the page. Tzadik kata ha'yifrach, Kerez balvanon yiske, Shetulim bebeit Adonai, Bechatzrot Eloheinu Yafrichu. Od yeduvun beseba, Deshenim verananim iyu lehagid, Ki ashar Adonai tzu lo havlata bo. All right, they'll ask us now to rise in body or spirit as we turn to page 144 for the Chatzi Kaddish and remain standing for the Baruch Hu on the next page. Yitkadal vehitkadash shemei rabba ve'alma divrach cherutei v'yamlich machutei b'chayechon uvyomechon u'chayei dechol beit Yisrael ba'gala uvizmahan kari ve'imeru amen. Yehi shmei rabba mevarach le'alam li'al me'al maya yitbarach Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitbar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitale v'yitalal shemei dekucha brichu leila min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damihiran behalma v'imeru. Amen. Baruch hu et Adonai hamevorach. Baruch Adonai hamevorach leolam va'ed. Okay, please be seated, everyone. We'll turn to page 149 at the very top, very bottom of the page. Let's read together in English. This is an hour of change. Within it we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Umavir yom umevi laila, umavdihil ben yom uve laila, Adonai tzvahot shemo, el chai v'kayam tamid yimloch aleinu leolam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai, hamari v'aravim. We'll turn now to page 151, and we'll read together in English toward the bottom of the page. Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol. All these things your Torah gives to us, and the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives. What could be a truer token of your abiding love than this holiest of your works and the living language that gives it form? Ki yehem chayinu ve'orech yameinu, uvahem negei yomav v'lahayla, v'avatcha tasir mimenu liolamim, Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Israel. Now I know everybody, the regulars, are ready to go right into the Shema, but this is our family Shabbat, and we are really lucky that we have all the young rabbis in the room who are going to help to lead the Shema. And we have a special Shema that we do at Hebrew school, so we're going to do one round of that at the beginning, and then we'll do the regular one. So Estelle and Sadie, Leonce, would you come up too? And Isabella, would you come up too? And I hope that this is, Isabella, you'll tell me if I'm saying, well, actually, guys, I thought, all right, you know what, you're up here, let's do it. Can everybody see them okay? That was the worry, that we couldn't see them. But, Isabella, you'll tell me if this is okay, but I was at morning program this morning. For those who don't know morning program, it's the most wonderful thing at the Sag Harbor Elementary School. Every morning, there is a gathering of the entire school up to 5th grade, and they learn things, and they sing things, and they do things, and it's just really wonderful, 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 wonderful stuff. And as it happens this morning, there was an award, and Isabella, what's the name of the award?
It's like this, it's a mile run that if you do extra laps for recess.
So this was like the most amazing thing to me. And I said to your dad when I saw him outside, I was never the person that ever wanted to run, ran the extra thing. If I drove a mile, I'd get tired. The idea that you can run and run and run. But I want to tell you that whether you realize it or not, it's also a wonderfully Jewish value. So when we think about mitzvahs, when we think about things that are good things that we do in the world as Jews, we try to actually go the extra mile to do a little bit more, right? The bare minimum is fine, but when you can do that little bit extra, it means so much. So I was really so proud of you. I know your dad and your mom are, of course, very proud of you, but it was just a cool thing to see that this morning. So I just wanted to give you a shout out for that. So, all right. Now, everybody, you're going to pay close attention because these are our experts. They know the Shema very well. Leon's going to come help us too. You know this one really well, okay? So we break it down a little bit. There's a hand motion that goes with each word. Okay, and we're going to try to follow along. So let's see if we can show them. Okay, so the first one, remember, is like this. Shema Yisrael, open your favorite book. Adonai, God is everywhere. Eloheinu, God is all of ours. We'll give ourselves a big hug. Hey, Noah. Hey, Mimi. Adonai Echad. Now, this is the key thing. Echad means one, so we try to connect to the person next to you. Isabel, here, perfect, right there with Sadie. We try to make a connection. You guys do this too. You're part of this also. Reminding us again that while there is oneness that we appreciate, that the oneness of connectivity, being one community, being all together is one of the most beautiful things. So now we're going to do the regular Shema all together. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. All right, guys, thank you so much. Really excellent timing. Okay, no, maybe perfect. Thank you, guys. Excellent job. And we're going to turn now to the Ve'ahavta just on the next page, page 154 at the very top. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol lebavcha ubechol nafshecha ubechol meodecha ve'hayu advarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavcha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha u'lechtecha v'aderech u'shochbecha u'vkumecha u'kshartam leot ayadecha v'hayu letotafot bein einecha u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'visharecha leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'yitem kedoshim le'elohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liyahot lachem le'elohim ani Adonai Elohechem Adonai Elohechem emet. Let's read together on page 155 in English. Love your God with every heartbeat, with every breath, with every conscious act. Keep in mind the words I command you today. Teach them to your children. Talk about them at work. Whether you are tired or you are rested, let them guide the work of your hands. Keep them in the forefront of your vision. Do not leave them at the doorway of your house or outside your gate. They are reminders to do all of my mitzvot so that you can be holy for God. I am Adonai, your God. I let you out of Egypt to become your God. I am Adonai, your God. We'll turn to Micha Mocha on the top of page 158. Yabai bai bim 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 bam, yabai bai bim bam, yabai bai bim 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 bam, yabai bai bim bam, yabai ba 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 bai, yabai bai bim bam, yabai ba 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 bai, yabai bai bim bam. Micha mocha bai lihim Adonai, Micha mocha nedar b'kodesh. Nora tehilot osefele, Nora tehilot osefele. Yabai bai bim 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 bam, yabai bai bim bam, yabai bai bim 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 bam, yabai bai bim bam, yabai ba 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 bai, yabai bai bim bam, yabai ba 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 bai, yabai bai bim bam. Malachutecha ra'u vanecha bokeyam lifnei Moshe Miriam zelianu ve'amru Adonai imloch leolam va'ed v'nemar kifad Adonai et Yaakov ugolo miad chazak mimenu baruch atah Adonai gal Yisrael. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up, waiting to do your will. Hashkivenu is on the top of page 160. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom mehamidenu Shomreinu lechayim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom mehamidenu shomreinu lechayim ushmor tzeiteinu uvoeinu lechayim ushalom me'ata ve'ad olam Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom mehamidenu shomreinu lechayim. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Yerushalayim. We turn to page 162, Veshamru at the very top of the page. Veshamru bnei Israel et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. I invite us now to rise in body or spirit as we begin the Amidah together on page 164. From that point on, we'll continue silently. As always, please go at your own pace. When you're finished at the end, if you're still standing, you may be seated. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Ose shalom bimromav, uyase shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ועל כל יושבי תבל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום. שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. We'll turn now to page 371 as we offer our Mishaberach, our healing prayer for this evening. Tonight in our community, we're especially thinking of our friend and board member Rona Klotman, Ronnie Lidowitz, Madeline Egelfeld, Sue Wartor, Abigail Blum, Kate Sherwood, Ame and Warren Cass, Rivka Bat Rachel, Lorraine Danis, David Dowling, Tzivia Devora Bat Francis, Shelley Newmark, Diane Axelrod, Gabriella Spicer, David Kyle Klotman, Lorraine Davis, Kim Birnbaum, Deborah Block-Kroll, Sylvia Orn, Rachel Bat Ora, Peretz Ben Shlomo, Israel Ben Yitzchak, Jill Fagan, and Stan Posner. In addition to those names that I just shared, if you have additional names to share, people you're thinking of tonight, we'll start on this side of the room in the front and towards the back, and then this side. And if you have names to share, just please raise a hand so I don't miss anybody. Brian and I.
Family, Diane Schwartz, Lauren Kenny, Mario, Honey Rodman, Judy Lipton, Lauren, Aaron Rubin, Noel, Mark Newmark, Meredith Berger, Dottie, Kevin Major, Karen Eckhart, Ricardo, Rob Feinberg, Honey L, and Adrian Berger.
Mel Hershey. Lucy Wood. Linda Shapiro.
Of course, we'll invite those watching at home to add names of your loved ones as well. And we'll join together in the Mishaberach on page 371, just in the middle of the page. Mishaberach avoteinu mekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishaberach imotenu mekor habracha Lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Now for our prayer for Israel in time of war. Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, our God and God of our ancestors, you know that the Jewish people are one nation with one heart, and now that heart is broken. O healer of broken hearts, binder of their wounds, be with our brothers and sisters who've been taken captive and with the families of the victims. Watch over the hostages, break their bonds, and bring them out from darkness to light. Proclaim release to the captives, liberation to the imprisoned. Comfort the families, bring them under the shelter of your wings. Bring complete healing of body and spirit to all the wounded. Bind up our wounds and grant us healing. Tzur Yisrael v'goalo, rock and redeemer of the people Israel. Bless the state of Israel, the initial manifestation of our redemption. Shield it with your care, spread over it your shelter of peace. Guide its leaders and advisors with your light and your truth. Grace them with your good counsel. Strengthen the hands of those who defend us. Crown their efforts with victory. Bless the land with peace, its inhabitants with lasting joy. Shomer Yisrael, guardian of Israel. Strengthen and bless the defenders of Israel who stand guard on the land, in the air, and on the sea. May we see the promise of the psalmist realize. You turn my mourning into dancing, my sackcloth into robes of joy. God, protect, preserve, and restore peace and well-being to Israel, your people, and together we say, Amen. Well, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I have to say I'm grateful for lots of reasons for family Shabbats, for all the reasons for family Shabbats, but also grateful that I can focus my teaching tonight in some more positive, perhaps esoteric places as opposed to firmly rooted in contemporary, in-the-moment issues that I've been speaking about for the last few weeks. So I want to share with you a really brilliant teaching from a former congregant of our temple. And just to be clear, they moved away, right? When you say former congregant, everybody starts to think, why did they leave? They moved away, but this is also a colleague and a teacher and a friend, Rabbi David Wyman, who we were blessed to have in our community for a number of years. And he writes actually most of the year a weekly email that he sends to friends. You know, even after you retire as a rabbi, and he's, deserves his retirement more than most, you never stop being a rabbi, right? So he's still thinking about Torah, he's still reading Torah, right? There's many lessons to, even if they're not in the room tonight, right? Many lessons for our young people to learn, one of which is that you never stop learning Torah, right? The idea is that it's a daily part of your life and you're always engaging. And for him, he's a wonderful teacher, and he shared a story, which I'll explain how he gets to in a moment, that I just thought was a beautiful teaching that all of us can hopefully take away something this Shabbat. So this week's Parsha, Parshat Emor, covers a lot of things. A lot of the time is spent discussing the holidays, Shabbat, various things that actually are bat mitzvah tomorrow. Kenzie is going to speak more about. But it also deals with what a lot of the book of Leviticus deals with, which is the priesthood and about offerings and about sacrifices and about the Mishkan and the temple and all of those kinds of things that at this point are archaic, anachronistic to our version of Judaism, but for our ancestors was everything. And this week they talk about, and there's a very interesting phrase that occurs in which the priests are told, which should be no surprise to anybody, that they're really meant to keep themselves in a state of constant ritual purity. Okay, so we're not going to get into the depths of the minutiae of what that actually means, but put it to you this way. They have to be constantly on guard. Everything that they do, everything that they wear, every sacrifice that they offer, every act that they take or don't, everything is imbued with a sense of being on the precipice between a state of purity and a state of impurity. And one of the reasons why we get in the Torah this week, why is that the case? Because one of their responsibilities, it tells us, is for them to bring offerings by fire of what's called lechem Elohav. In Hebrew, lechem is the word for bread, and Elohav in this conjugation in the grammar, which again I'll save you the minutiae of, means our God, right? So it literally means the bread of their God. And why? Because again, they have to remain holy so they can make this offering. So Rabbi Wyman explains, he says, here lechem Elohav is merely a figure of speech, a term used to indicate the full catalog of offerings brought to the temple. Quote-unquote, God's bread was not meant to be taken literally, something akin to saying, I need to find a job so I can make some bread, or the expression, his or her bread and butter, to indicate profession or primary source of income. Towards the end of the portion, he explains, however, the priests were further commanded to, quote, take a measure of choice flour, mix it into 12 loaves, chalot, which remember when we get to that part of the service, 2/10 of a measure for each loaf, and place them on the table, 6 to a row, at the insistence of Adonai. In this case, the mitzvah was no metaphor. Daily, the priest would literally set out 12 loaves of bread on the altar before the Holy of Holies in 2 rows of 6. Any idea why we might be thinking about 12 loaves? Number 12? 12 tribes. Okay, very good, right? One loaf representing each of the various tribes. So now he connects it to a beautiful, and I'm pretty sure this is a Hasidic story in origin. I'll be wrong if Rabbi Wyman will correct me. So it's a story about a wealthy man who fell asleep once in synagogue. Of course, that never happens, right? Nobody ever falls asleep in synagogue. Okay, but the wealthy man who falls asleep in synagogue one Shabbat morning, and he wakes suddenly just as the Torah reader is chanting the verse cited just above, okay, about the bread. Startled, the man thought to himself, I don't know why God would come to me in a dream and ask for 12 loaves of challah. But when the next Shabbat approached, the man dutifully baked the bread, brought it to the synagogue, and then placed the loaves in the ark. 2 rows, 6 to a row, and then he returned home. Not 5 minutes later, a poor man enters the sanctuary, and he stands before the ark and he implores his creator, Adonai, we have nothing. My family is starving. We have no food to eat. Please, please help us. And the poor man opens the ark to pray before the Torah scrolls, and lo and behold, there are 12 loaves of bread, warm and steaming. It's a miracle, the poor man declares, adding, and God, you work so quickly. The man gave thanks, gathers up the bread, and ran home to his family. Now, the wealthy man came early to the synagogue that very evening. He went up to the bima, opened the ark doors, only to discover what? The loaves are gone. God took my challah. I'm so pleased. I will bring another 12 loaves next week, and this time with raisins. And so it went for several weeks with the rich man baking and bringing the bread, the poor man taking, until one Friday afternoon. And as it happens, the two enter the sanctuary at the exact same time. So, God didn't take the bread, said the rich man. I should have known. Right? The cynic appears. So it wasn't a miracle, said the poor man. I should have known. And then the wise rabbi of the congregation, and as Rabbi Wyman puts out, in Eastern European folktales, all the rabbis are wise. Not always the case. Right? The rabbi walks in, sees what's happening, and says to these two men in all seriousness, he says, look at your hands. Look at your hands, my brothers. Your hands were baking, and your hands were taking. Continue just as you have been, for your hands are the hands of God. And Rabbi Wyman closes with this. He says, I've heard it said on more than one occasion that humanity is God's favorite charity. But it is ever and always up to you and to me to deliver those benefactions to the people who need them most. So now you look down at your own hands. Your hands are none other than the hands of God. Or they could be if you put them to holy purpose. The possibilities are endless, and the need has never been greater. So, of course, it's a beautiful and very typical style of Hasidic tale, one that weaves in a certain amount of humor, a certain amount of humanity, and at the end of it brings what often seems a very simple teaching, but when one thinks about it, much more profound. And especially on nights like this, where we have our young students here, and in any given family service, right, we get not the totality of our student body, as it were, right, but these students who show up here, whose parents bring them here, grandparents, whose loved ones, they bring them to the temple to learn, to grow, and especially to connect to Judaism in a deep and a meaningful way. And one of our challenges as modern Jewish educators is we don't have our students for 5 days a week like perhaps some of you experienced when you were growing up. We don't even have them for 3 days a week. Oftentimes, we have them for one, and some amount of that time is snack time, okay? So when it comes down to it, we often have just a small smidgen of time, and we have to think deeply about what is it that we want our students to take away. And certainly a love of Hebrew, our language, certainly a love of Torah broadly, of prayer, of the state of Israel, of things that matter to us. But when it all comes down to, really, is to instill in our young people a sense of ownership over their heritage, and understanding that their hands are quite literally the hands of God. And we talk to them week after week, Monday after Monday. Every time that I take the Torah out, every time I teach them something, I try to bring at the very end something for them to take that they, as kids, exactly where they are at this point in their life, to realize how empowered they are to change the world around them for the better. We oftentimes think that this is a deferred reality. When you get to be an adult after college, when you have children, maybe somewhere down the road, when you have time, then we'll change things. Not so, says our tradition. Our tradition tells us from the very, very youngest age, all the way, as I said, to the very last day that we have on this earth, Torah is at the heart and in our hands. And if we only have it, again, as an intellectual exercise, we're missing a very important part of it. Right? This story, of course, is humorous and sweet and all the things we like, but its end purpose is to tell us that we may be one of the characters in that story at any given time, right? The giver, the taker, but in either way, we are facilitating what God envisioned for us in the first place, which is a world of wholeness, a world in which everybody has, in one form or the other, what they need. And we don't live in that world right now. We probably haven't ever lived in that world. And so, what is our hope? What does Judaism tell us? Always, when we get too cynical, when we get sad, when we look around and say, what are we to do? Okay, we don't put the responsibility on the children, but we put our hope on them, that they can do what we couldn't. We're to at least help bring us along to help them to make the world that we all really ought to live in. So with that, I hope, if any of these wonderful children are yours, you'll give them a boiled down version of what I said tonight on the way home. But thank you, right, to all the families that participate in our Hebrew school, that give us, the teachers, a privilege to teach, and to this whole community for building this place in the first place, and for making sure that it would always be a place where every Jewish student who wants to learn has a place to learn. So with that, I wish you all a very open-handed Shabbat Shalom. So I'll invite us now to rise as we turn to page 570 and mark the counting of the Omer. We're getting closer and closer to Shavuot and to our historic remembrance of the giving of the Torah. And we will turn again, 570, as we mark counting the Omer for this evening. Hineni muchan u'mezuman l'kayem mitzvat aseh shel svirat ha'omer. I am ready to fulfill the mitzvah of counting the Omer. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav vetzivanu al svirat ha'omer. Oh boy, you know what? Okay, hayom shlosha v'arba'im yom shehem arba'a shavuot ve shisha yamim la'omer. This marks, again, 34 days of the Omer, which is 4 weeks and 6 days of the Omer, if I counted that correct. All right, and we'll remain standing as we turn now to page 586 at the bottom of the page, Aleinu Leshabeach. Aleinu Leshabeach Ladon HaKol Latech Gedula Liotzer Breshit Shelo Asanu Kigoye Ha'aratzot Velo Samahanu Kimishpachot Ha'adama Shelo Sam Kalchenu Kahem Vegor Aleinu Kechol Hamonam Vanahnu Korim Umishtachavim Umodim Lifnei Melech Malchei HaMachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Page 591. Vehemar Vehaya Adonai Lemelech Al Kol Haaretz Bayom Hahu Bayom Hahu Yeh Adonai Echad U'Shemo 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 Echad. I'll ask those in mourning, those observing yahrzeit, to please remain standing. Everyone else may be seated at this time. We think first of those who've passed in our community in recent months: Heather Abrams, David Amanoff, Stephen Dickman, Judith Barry Emanuel, Harry Fadum, Michael Fagenbaum, Sharon Lee Goldblatt, Barbara Goldfarb, Harry Heller, David Carlin, Morris Kramer, Ann Lieber, Jeanette Meyerowitz, Jeffrey Miller, Phyllis Cole Rowan, Gloria Sapiro, Ronald Seth Tempowski, Randy Wasserman, and Joel Wintner. We also mark the yahrzeits that occurred during the last week for Martin Blake, Melvin James Danis, Susan Davis, Henry Denker, Arthur Fagenbaum, Moreno Harav, Rabbi Arthur Gilbert, Charles Goldman, Irene Goldman, Walter Gruenstein, Elias Kaplan, Harold Clapper, Heather Kotler, Ruth Krennick, Bernard Dove Kriegsman, Emmanuel Kiprios, Harry Oliphant, Sophie Pearl, Charles Reisen, Irving Rubin, Eleanor Shapiro, and David Weinstein. In addition to those names that I just read, if anyone else is saying Kaddish for anyone tonight that we didn't mention and you'd like to mention their names. And I'll invite the mourners to join me on page 598, and if it's your custom to rise alongside them, you may do so at this time. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, be'alma divrach cherutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shemei rabbah mevarach la'alam u'li'almei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei dekudsha berichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shalama rabba min shemaya b'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Zichronam livracha, may every one of their memories be for a blessing. Okay, please be seated, everyone. Shabbat shalom. How was the pizza? Good pizza? Did you save me pizza? You did? Did you save me pizza? Yeah. No. Yes? No? No. That's okay. I think, you guys earned it. You deserve it. I did not earn my pizza, I assure you. But I hope you had a good time down there. And thank you guys so much for being here tonight and helping to lead the service. You all have done so wonderfully well. In a minute, I'm going to need your help to help us close it out. But before that, just a couple quick announcements. First is, please do join us next door for our Oneg Shabbat. Have a chance to eat and get to know each other if you don't know each other and to meet these wonderful children. Also a reminder that tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, our Shabbat services include Kenzie Stone being called to the Torah as a bat mitzvah. We're very, very happy. Kenzie's been working very hard. Her parents are, of course, very proud of her, and we acknowledge, of course, Eric, who is a Temple board member, and we're really very excited. They are very kindly sponsoring our expanded Kiddush to follow. So we hope that you'll join us either in person or online. And Torah study will take place tomorrow. We might be a little bit behind in terms of timing. B'nai Mitzvah tend to run a little bit longer, but that will meet downstairs as opposed to upstairs. So again, Torah study tomorrow, somewhere in the midst of or close to 12 o'clock. Reminder that our virtual Leiled Sunday morning minyan continues, but it is now shifted to once a month. That will be the first Sunday of every month. So again, that will continue on the first Sunday of every month at 9:30. Also, somehow or another, it's the last day of Hebrew school coming up on Monday. And as it coincides with, if I'm not mistaken, Lag BaOmer, I think, is actually, right, starts tonight. Yeah. But we're going to celebrate it on Monday also. And the way we end our school year after we're done at Hebrew school, we're going to end a little early, right at 4:30, Shelley. And then we're going to go over to Havens Beach. We hope the weather will be nice, and we'll be able to do that. We have our annual Lag BaOmer barbecue. Maybe there'll be some ice cream in there somewhere, I don't know. Okay, yes, there'll be ice cream. I promise you there will be ice cream. And again, we hope you'll join us. That will be starting at 5 o'clock again at Havens Beach this coming Monday. But if you are coming, please, please, please let Shelley know, because we only have so much food, and we want to make sure that we have enough for everybody, so I hope you can join us. Also, we have a special program this Thursday, May 22nd at 7 o'clock. It's a hybrid program, so it will be both here at the temple and online if you'd like to join us, in which we have Holocaust survivor and author Elizabeth Belloc and her daughter Alexandra in conversation with myself. There's flyers and more information about that next door and in your e-blast. Also a reminder that our wonderful book group begins again for its, I think, what did Ruth say, 12th year. Ruth Joseph has led this amazing book group. It is meeting for the first session of the summer, Sunday, May 25th at 11 o'clock. Please come about 15 minutes early, though, so you can enjoy a little bit of something to eat. This is both in-person and virtual opportunity as well, but please make sure that you email Ruth directly if you want to join. Copies of the readings are available in our office, but only after you've contacted Ruth and gotten in touch with her and are in the class. Also a reminder, at the end of the month, May 30th and 31st, our Women's Torah Commentary Scholar in Residence Weekend with my beloved professor, Dr. Wendy Zierler. This is really an opportunity to learn with somebody brilliant. I really, really hope we're going to show up and show out for a wonderful person. And again, when we have guests in this community, everybody, it's very important that we show up for them. They prepare very hard to teach us, and we only oftentimes have one opportunity with them, and then many years go by if we never see them again. So make sure that you're with us again, either Friday night, Saturday morning, Torah study, or ideally all of it at the end of the month. And look out next week for a flyer about our Shavuot services and our Tikkun Leil Shavuot. As we've done the last several years, we are partnering with our friends at the Jewish Center of the Hamptons in East Hampton and the Gesher Bridge Shul in Bridgehampton. And this year we are going to gather for the Tikkun at JCOH in East Hampton. So there'll be information about how to register. And then we'll have services the next morning here at the temple. That will be Monday morning, June 2nd, I believe. That service will start at 10 o'clock. It includes the service also of Yizkor. I think I've got everything, but always please check your e-blast, keep up with things. Again, Asher Koch to all of our wonderful students. And before we end our service, I'm hoping our students can actually come up onto the bima and help me out. Look at that. Look at that, people. There's actually a thing that says, when you're going to do a mitzvah, you run to do it, and you take it literally, which I appreciate so much. Oh, thank you. That's my bar mitzvah. Let me just sneak in and grab that. Now, before we get to the challah, before we get to the wine, when we end our service on Mondays, we sing Oseh Shalom. I know we already did it, but we're going to do it with these brilliant young minds. And the reason why is that, for all the things that we learn, Shalom is at the very, very top, right? We work towards a sense of peace, and it starts with these wonderful people right here. So I hope you'll join together. Okay, guys, 1, 2, 3. Oseh Shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru imru amen. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Now don't go anywhere. We're going to rise for Kiddush, page 123. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabahat kodsho b'ahava uvratzon inchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila lemikrae kodesh zecher letziat mitzrayim ki v'anu b'charta ve'otanu kidashta mikol hamim ve'shabat kodshecha ve'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. Amen. Say it, l'chaim. Means to life. Okay, now everybody kind of put your hands up over the challahs like that. Excellent. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamahotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Okay, now everybody take a piece. All right, Shabbat Shalom. Everybody come next door. Thank you guys so much. You all did a wonderful job. Truly wonderful job. Very nice. Okay, Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Come on, let's go next door and eat some more. All right. You were awesome. You guys were all awesome. Three of you especially all together at the beginning. You started us off strong. My pleasure. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes.